Now, can I say this though? I've been shooting street musicians for a long time, for at least the last 7 years, and the concept of a street musicians union is fine as long as you're not going to ban particular acts.
Right.
Now, what the street musicians union in fact turned into, aside from Stephen's personal personal little power trip,
right,
was just that.
Right.
He was going to say who could play and who couldn't play.
Right.
And that was according to how much money the rest of the street musicians could make, because
Right.
the bands playing, the rest of the musicians had trouble.
Right.
So instead of just talking to the bands and saying, or arranging with the city,
Right.
doing what the street musicians union, and here we're talking about a band of anarchists getting together to ban other anarchists,
right,
and getting together in the first place is rather, nebulous. It's like a coalition of the homeless.
right,
You got a bunch of people who I live for myself every minute of every day, and I'm going to make you a coalition, and of course what happens is the smart guys figure out how to get the gravy, and the poor guys, the not so smart guys, still anarchists all,
right,
get nothing. The homeless coalition, as a matter of fact, is the main one, where the leaders got housing and the movement died.
right,
Well, the Street Musicians Union pretty much did the same thing. Once he got the power, there was no longer, well, let's open up Kendall Square, and let's open up Porter Square, and let's open up, it was, well, let's hold on to what we got.
right,
And the only way to hold on to what we got is to cut out the rock and roll bands, because,
right,
they block us from making money. Instead of opening up Kendall Square for rock and roll bands and saying, okay, rock and roll bands, you can play in Kendall Square. Or rock and roll bands, you have Tuesdays and Thursday nights, you can play in Harvest Square, and then you can play in Porter Square for this day. Okay?
yeah,
That's what didn't happen. So the argument that, news at that point actually covered part of the story.
Yeah.
And of course, if they cover your part, then that's the one you want. And if you cover the other part, then see, I personally like the blues bands and things that play now.
So do I. I like it all.
And I think they should be able to play there without getting harassed for playing too loud, because they don't play too loud.
Although a former friend of mine, Lourdes Pita, Lourdes?
No.
She plays Harvard Square a lot.
But is that the one that plays the flute?
No.
No. Who's the flute lady?
That's Siobhan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they play every bit as loud as those rock and roll bands, and they were the ones that were trying to get the rock and roll bands thrown out. It's very political.
Well, Lourdes, and I was her quasi-manager, bodyguard. I'd stay with her in the street, the whole bit. Right now, she and I are involved in a legal battle because I fell in love with a woman.
With her?
Yeah.
No, with some other woman.
No, I fell in love with Lourdes, and things generally went downhill. I mean, it was one time I didn't tell her she had somebody, but the guy was like a real jerk.
Yeah.
And anyway, finally, she treated me like shit towards the end. So a few weeks ago, I put a poster up at Harvard Square, "Wanted by Humanity." Lourdes Pita. Anyway, she got a restraining order against me and has filed a criminal complaint for threats, alleging that I made threats that I never made. That I called her on the phone and threatened her. I never did. I have no further interest in the woman. I did say several times to people when I was like drunk or out of it. One day, someone gave me a hit of acid just before Christmas, and it brought out all these feelings of anger, and I went a little crazy. And so I'm going to kill her. Never happened.
That's enough to get a restraining order.
Yeah, but not criminal complaints really pushing.
Well,
And I would never hurt the woman.
did she actually filed a criminal complaint, or she filed a complaint for
Criminal complaint for threats.
And so you have to answer these.
Right. Street musicians are a weird breed, boy.
Well, any street people are weird. Harvard Square is one of those strange places,
But no. See, in one way I agree with you about the news thing, and another way, stuff like this, like if this got on, say, KRNO in San Francisco, okay, on their nightly news, right?
It would hit a lot of people.
It would hit a lot of people,
That's right.
and it would raise a major stink.
That's right.
Also, my feeling is...
Well, I don't think it would raise a major stink.
My feeling is, having heard of things going down like this in hill countries like Tennessee, Alabama,
And this goes on
where
everywhere.
they
Yes.
waste people like him when they raise a stink and fuck the county system, okay? If this made it on someone like KRL, alright, they wouldn't dare. I mean, if he broke a thumbnail, it would look suspicious. You see what I'm saying? It might keep
They wouldn't do a thing.
it might keep this guy alive a little longer.
I don't think it would. Personally, I don't think that that's what's necessary. You know,
See, I'd like to see this get on the news.
I'd like to see it on the news too.
I can get it on locally, but I don't have any connections on the West Coast. I mean,
I have some connections on the West Coast.
But if you get me a copy of this tape, I will take it to my people here and try and get, because he's originally from here,
That's right.
and try and get it on here,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
And in the meantime, you can do what you can do to try and get it seen there.
Well, I've got it seen there as soon as it gets out there. That's he'll be able to sit in San Francisco and watch. Oh, actually in Oakland right now and watch it.
It's too bad Channel 2 just canceled their public news show.
No, they didn't.
Last I heard they did.
No, they were going to, and they didn't.
Thank God. It's the best news show on the air.
They've changed it a little bit. It changed greatly with the coverage, but it's not gone.
Alright. So that's the first place I'll take.
It's not near as good as it was.
That's the first place I'll take.
Okay, well I can have you a copy of this on Wednesday.
That's not a problem.
Okay.
I'll connect with you. I'll call you first.
Okay. Well, I'm here for sure. Wednesday from about 5 o'clock on. For sure. You never catch me in the mornings. Forget that shit.
No, I don't even get up till 10.
Yeah. No, that's what he said, and I don't blame you. I tried as hard as possible not to.
I mean, I've got like 200 resumes out there to law firms.
Yeah.
Nobody's hiring right now.
Nobody's
afraid.
hiring nothing.
The attorney I used to work full time for up in Sharon retired. It was a good 6-year stint while it lasted. And he paid real well, and we were friends too. You know,
Well, I know a couple other paralegals who are in the same plight. It's a tough one.
Well, I've investigated murder cases.
Well, you didn't work on that Pamela Smart case, did you? Oh, too bad. I thought we could get a good one out of that.
4 years ago, there was a murder that took place on the Labor Day weekend at the East Boston Yacht
There's
Club.
180 murders every fucking year in this city, you know?
And this murder at the East Boston, I was the first.
What they have this year? 220 some murders,
Yeah.
right? 240.
I
Shit,
beat the
man.
police to the murder scene.
Oh, they must have had more. How many murders did they have this year?
It's more than that. It's up around 280.
Around 280.
Yeah.
Jesus, not even one a day. We still got a ways to catch up with Miami, I guess.
We're not far behind.
We're not far behind. We're not the murder capital, though.
We're getting there, though.
Nah.
Real quick.
Nah, just because we're 80% ethnic in the middle of town now.
Now, why don't we get Muncie in here and let's see the whole tape?
Get Muncie in here and see the whole tape.
Yeah. Let's make sure that it's done right this time.
Oh,
This is the last shot. This is the last shot.